as you know, over the last how many years, there is no middle class. We're getting crushed by the rich up top, and we're getting crushed by the people with their palms up on the bottom. 60% of us are doing the load for the entire country. That's a problem. You know, yesterday, some declassified information from the United States Department of Homeland Security said to be careful and watch out for right-wing nut jobs. And they define right-wing nut jobs as people that are concerned about the United States' sovereignty. They said right-wing nut jobs are people that are concerned with the trillion dollar budget. They said we're right-wing nut jobs if we're concerned about immigration. I don't think we're right-wing nut jobs. I think we're just concerned Americans. You know, and the really cool thing about this is this reminds me of last summer when these people back here tried to raise their pay. Remember the legislative pay raise? I think for the first time we realized here in Louisiana and all over the country that our voices count. With the advent of email and voicemail, we all filled up their mailboxes. And then what did? They started shaking. They started shaking in their boots because they didn't know what to do. And then what happened with the legislative pay raise? It didn't happen. Today, these things are going on all over the country. I don't know what NBC and ABC and CBS is going to say tonight on the 6 and 11 o'clock news. You know, they might call us a bunch of Bible-loving, gun-loving, crazy people. What's so crazy about the Bible? What's so crazy about the Second Amendment? See, John F. Kennedy back in the day, and I know I'm not talking about the guy who works in here. John F. Kennedy back in the day, in a big speech, he said, ask not what your country can do for you, he said, ask what you can do for your country. I think the Democrats, 40 years later, got it mixed up. They got it mixed up. All they're asking is what their country can do for them, and they don't ask what they can do for their country. You know, there's a segment of society, why should they work? They get the Section 8 housing, the government helps with that, the government cheese and the bread, the milk. You know, if I was getting that, and I saw my family getting that, and then I had the choice of getting that or going to work and maybe making about the same amount of money, why would I go to work? There's a problem in that theory, and that needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. You know, I talked to Glenn Beck for a little while yesterday. Glenn Beck, as good of an American as we have. And Glenn Beck brought into his studio 75,000 sheets of paper. Those are our tax laws. Those are our tax codes and tax laws. 75,000 pieces of paper. And then he pulled his Constitution out of his pocket. And he said, it's funny, you know, for a couple of 100 years, this thing worked okay. And then he looked at the stack of papers and said, no wonder why our state treasurer couldn't pay his taxes, or our national United States treasurer. No wonder why he didn't pay his taxes. He couldn't figure it out either. I met Tim Geithner once after I picked myself up after tripping over him, and he didn't seem to be a bad guy, but this is ridiculous. We need either a flat tax, we need a fair tax, we just need across the board. We don't mind paying our share, we don't mind paying for the public schools, we don't mind paying for the elderly, the police. Get tired of paying for people living in apartments who watch big screen TVs. Too much? Well, look, it's great to see all of you out here. I can't stay that long because, like most of you, I got to go to work. But I'm going to leave you with this. To quote the great Huey Long, and he said it standing right here.